Lot of technical details have been discussed, and even the consumer grievances and the problems which Tarai and other people are aware of has already been pointed out. There is nothing much left for the consumer organization, because I come from a consumer organization and we regularly get a lot of complaints from various consumers. The basic complaints that we get is that we have been cheated by the service provider. We were asked that you will get this speed. I am not getting this speed. Example, I have here only, I have been checking my mobile from time to time, sitting in this room. The bars of the provider from 1 to 5 have been fluctuating in this period. When we talk of data, it went even out of E. E was even not there, and it came to 4 also. It had been fluctuating from 0 or nil to 4G. Now, as a consumer, what should I take it? Have I been cheated, or is there a technical problem? I am a consumer. I have paid to the industry for a service I have asked for, and I must get that service. Or initially, when that service is being given to me, there should be a list of all the do's and do nots to be signed by the consumer, so that tomorrow the consumer does not come to me, to the service provider, and say that this was not promised, it is not being done. False advertisements, misleading advertisements, and misleading information by the company, service provider companies, is being given to the consumer. Consumer is a layman. Consumer does not understand how many towers there, what is the bandwidth, what is the speed. Consumer knows speed, 2G. Yes, you will get it. Am I getting the 2G speed? I have been offered that, yes, on my, we are talking of mobile, but we have already talked of the landline also. I have been given a speed of 2 Mbps. 50% of the time the speed I get is 1 Mbps. It has already, I have got that app, it has been reported to Tarai. Now, what is the point of app and getting this data if a consumer is not being contacted back, How will consumer have a confidence in the app or the controlling agency or the regulating agency if he is not given a feedback? A feedback is very important for the satisfaction of the consumer. Today, yes, we are all in the process of that we must have a smartphone. Does the service provider at the time of giving the connection inform to the consumer that, listen, take the basic pack, no add-ons, and according to your need you must go for the add-ons later on? Consumer is not being given that option. Add-ons are being added automatically, of which a consumer is not aware of. As has been rightly said, that so many areas are there. You go for Google. Google is the biggest culprit today. I was looking for a map for a certain hotel, and I got a straight icon. Your booking in this hotel from this date to this date. What is that, My privacy is gone. That means some data has already been used. That is where the consumer is feeling the pinch. You are not aware that your data is being used, and then there is a tussle which starts between the consumer and the service provider, and finally it lands up to a consumer organization to mediate between both and try to settle their issue. A very good point that has just arisen here and has been discussed. Why in India we are having this problem? I think, and an example of Japan was there, that in Japan 2G runs like a bullet train, and in India 3G runs like a bullet train, and in India even 4G is not working. Why? In India, our buildings are of concrete, full of iron and concrete. That is the reason why here my network is fluctuating. And that is the basic culprit in India, that we have a problem of speed, which we really need to look into technically, that how we can pass through the concrete walls and maintain the data speed. Another important factor which has come, government, and I think I remember Supreme Court made a decision that if there will be a call drop, there will be a refund of ₹1 per call drop. Where is that?
Supreme Court overturned that.
Fine. But there are so many agencies in between. No, my point, what I'm trying to come to is, the same thing happened with the towers. One day a medical profession comes, oh, radiation is hazardous, remove the towers. Another day, the service is bad, go back to the towers. Now, the ISP or USP, in collision with the residents, build up the tower, MCG says, or municipal corporation says, I want money on this. So many agencies are involved in this, due to which we are not able to maintain our services. One day the tower comes, the next day the tower goes. If the tower is not there, how, technically let us understand, how will the waves and the data and the connectivity will be transferred? This is bound to happen. Another important thing is what is happening today, that we have got multi-service providers. It's good it's healthy for the competition. I don't deny that. But as a consumer organization, as the technical people sitting here, I put a question and raise a food for thought for them, that can a consumer has the facility, because now most of the telephone numbers have been fixed, and I can use the same telephone number and port to any of the service provider. Right? USA has the facility that I have the number, the various agencies are there, and right now if one of the service provider is not giving service, I can immediately switch over and use another one's network. Similarly, in our country, yes, mobile I don't know, but yes, landline is there.
Other way around. Mobile mein.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I have used that there in the US. Now, the question I'm trying to raise here is, as a consumer organization, in the benefit of consumers, say we have got 5 service providers. I have my mobile. I have one SIM, a common SIM. In certain area, say service A, provider A does not have a good service. Provider B has a service. Is technically, or can we make an experiment technically and try to develop a system where in that area I can shift and use these services of...
Is this not MNP?
It is there. This is called mobile number portability. It is there for many years now.
Sir, my question is...
आपका बदलवा दे कहीं जाना है तो एक हफ्ता लगता है.
Sir, you are not trying to follow my point. You,
You're right on somebody else's
yes, I am not talking of portability right now. I am not talking of portability. Portability means if I have to change my number to a different provider, then I have to continue for months together on that provider.
I should dynamically go to I should be roaming to the best base station and all.
Exactly. At times, previously I remember in 2G, it used to show that your number is now working on this service provider. Whether it was really effective or not, but is to show me that now from Airtel the Vodafone service is better. It already will pick up the Vodafone services here and start showing it. So technically, can we do it? This is going to effect two ways. Number one, it will help the consumer organizations have less number of complaints, help the consumer to get the services wherever he is to the best possible network, and bring in a healthy competition in the USP, because they will know that if I am not providing a good service in this area, the customer will go to the other network and use that network, and the revenue goes to that network, not to me. This is all I would like to shift here, because a lot of other things like call drop and data and the all the problem of what I paid and am I getting it, am I getting the right data, right amount, all these things have been discussed and everyone is aware of it. And we daily face that problem. But I leave it here with the idea that Ken Tarai, IIT and other technical people in this can think of this possibility, which is definitely going to help the consumer and the service provider. Thank you.